Frag Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. And here with you today is your boy Pradius, and got a pretty interesting show for you today. First, want to go ahead and give my review for Forza Motorsport 6, which of course we had Forza Horizon 2 last year, but the last actual Forza Motorsport came along with the launch of the Xbox One console back in, was it November 2013? So it's been about a good 2 years since we've had a actual entry into the original Forza Motorsport series. So I want to do a review of that. Then Update 17 has made its way for Warframe on consoles, and that's Xbox One and PS4. Want to go through all the great stuff that Digital Extremes has added in that to the game. Ton of stuff. This has got to be the biggest update to Warframe since I started playing back earlier this year. So ton of stuff there. Also, I've been playing a lot of Smite, which is another free-to-play game, but very different than Warframe. This is a MOBA, sort of like League of Legends, but instead of having that bird's eye sort of Diablo type of view, it's got a more third-person behind-the-shoulder view, which makes it feel very different than other MOBAs. I think I've talked about Smite on the show before, but I wanted to go a little bit more in-depth this time. And then also talk a little bit about some Gears of War. Ever since Gears of War Ultimate Edition came out, I've been playing it night and day. Anyone who has been watching this show knows that I am a huge Gears of War fan. So anytime a new Gears comes out, my Phoenix is rising through the roof. And so I've been playing a ton of that. But before we even go any further, I wanted to thank the guys at the Coalition for partnering up with us here at Frag Tag Radio to do a giveaway for the exclusive community skin, the bodied weapon skin, which if you haven't seen it, you can look it up online, or we actually have a picture of it on our Twitter. Congrats to Lloyd, who ended up winning the retweet contest for the giveaway that we did. We had close to 400 retweets, so thanks to everybody who entered and participated. We appreciate it a lot. And yeah, thanks again to the guys at the Coalition for partnering up with us for that giveaway. We also have another Gears of War giveaway that I will be touching on a little bit more in depth later in the show, but suffice to say, we're going to be giving away a physical copy, retail copy of Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and I'll give you some more details on how that's going to go down later on in the show. So before we get into it for real, just want to go ahead and give shouts out to our partners over at Appy Gamer. Appy makes you happy. Great app, of course, on Android, iOS, Windows. Appy Gamer's everywhere. Check it out. Absolutely free. Has all your video game news and news sources in just one convenient app, and it's free. So you can't beat that. Also, Game and News and Reviews, which is also on Android and iOS. I don't believe they have a Windows app, but Android and iOS, the two big ones. So pretty much that'll cover just about everybody there. Another great Game and News app right up there with Appy Gamer. And then lastly, Game On, which is on iOS and Windows Phone. Shouts to Troy. That's another awesome app. If you're on Windows Phone, that is the best gaming app you could possibly get. If you're on iOS, I would recommend it right there along with Game and News and Reviews and Appy Gamer. It's a terrific app, and you just can't go wrong by downloading any one of those three apps. Also, you can catch us on fragtagradio.com, YouTube at /fragtagradio, Twitter at fragtagradio, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, everywhere. We're everywhere. We're all over the internet, all over your phone, all over the webs, tablets, laptops. You can find us anywhere. And with that, Forza Motorsport 6. So I got the game. Was about 2 weeks out from launch. If you pre-ordered the Ultimate or Deluxe Edition, I can't remember exactly what it's called. If you pre-order that, you actually get to play the game a week early before everybody else. So I got the game about a week before them and about 2 weeks before everybody else, gets it, who didn't get the ultimate edition of it. So I've had plenty of time to go through, test out most of the cars. Gotta be honest with you, I have not tried every single car in the game. There are, excuse me, over 460 cars in Forza Motorsport 6, which is just amazing. Just saying that number, that many cars in a game, it's crazy. But I have tried a good number of them. Also, you'll be happy to know 26 tracks in Forza Motorsport 6. With Motorsport 5, there was like 6, 7, maybe 8 tracks in Forza 5. So this is like more than triple of the amount of tracks that we're getting there. And then also 24 players in online multiplayer, which is absolutely amazing. You could just have straight up NASCAR style races with all real people. It's amazing. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about the career mode. So the career mode in Forza 5, you had like a little intro race, and then boom, it brought up a bunch of different options for you to do for your career. You could do, you know, like hot hatchbacks, or, you know, super Japanese street racers, or old muscle cars, or this and that, and you could pretty much choose whatever you wanted and do them in any order you wanted, and you could redo some of those. So Forza Motorsport 6 is a little bit different. You do have that first intro race, which you drive the brand new Ford, just like a 2016, 2017 actually, I think, Ford GT. Amazing car, amazing looking, handles amazing, just a great car. And me being an owner of a Ford Focus, so I'm a fan of Ford myself, and I love that car. But yeah, so a little bit of intro race. Racing is that, and then you go into what's called like a qualifying series, which consists of 3 races, which is more like an extended tutorial, which introduces not only features that have been in past Forzas, but also the new features as well. And the first race out of those 3 is pretty much focused around recapping, you know, stuff that most Forza racers already know, but that, you know, newcomers might be interested in knowing. And then the race 2 and race 3, that's when they start talking about the new stuff and introducing you to new aspects, stuff that they've put in just new for Forza Motorsport 6. Out of those 3 races, they go by pretty quick. They introduce you to nighttime racing. I don't believe they show off the weather rain racing in those first 3 races, which is kind of, I know there is a night race, and I believe it is the second of the 3 races. And then they also introduce you to mods, which mods are brand new to the Forza series. Now, of course, just like in past Forzas, you can customize, upgrade your car, go in there and change out parts on the engine, give it more horsepower, lower the car, suspension, mess around with the body frame, put body kits on it, change the rims to reduce the weight. All that stuff is still in there. And then, of course, the fine tuning, where you can, you know, mess around with the alignment, the tire pressure for people who are super hardcore into cars. Your average player isn't going to probably mess around with the tuning. Only really hardcore car aficionados are going to mess around with that. But that is there, just like it was in Forza 5. But mods are something different. They do affect the race, sort of like upgrades do, but in a different way. So there are 3 mod slots that you have at any given time, and you can have up to 3 mods equipped before any race. And how you get mods is you buy these packs of mods, which are more like cards. So like buying packs of cards, and then each card represents a mod, and you buy these with credits that you earn in the game. Those of you who might be worried about microtransactions, there is no way to buy these card packs with real money. You can only purchase these card packs with credits that are earned through gameplay. So there's that. And then, all right, so the different types of mods you can get. There are, I believe, 3 main types of mods. One is the unlimited mods, which an unlimited mod, you can equip it and leave it there forever if you want. It never runs out. And unlimited mods might do stuff like reduce the weight of your car by 6%, or increase the horsepower of your car by 3-4%, or, you know, something else of that nature. And then unlimited mods also have, or a lot of them anyway, have track specific buffs. Like say this unlimited mod might say you get an extra 3% to horsepower if you have it equipped. But if you're racing on the prog track, then that 3% doubles up to 6%, and you have 6% extra horsepower, but only when racing on the prog track. So that's kind of interesting. Then there are the single-use mods, which these mods only allow, you can only use them one time. You can equip it before the race, and it's equipped for that race. And once the race is over, it's gone. It doesn't matter if you use that mod or not. Like they have the single boost mods that gives you a one-time use boost that you can use during a race to speed yourself up. Say you complete a race and you had that mod equipped, but you didn't use the boost. Too bad, the mod's gone. You should have used the boost. So if you equip one of those mods, make sure that you're equipping it and you're going to be using it. Otherwise, you're just wasting it. And the last type of mod are the dare mods, which these actually add an extra challenge to the game rather than giving you some sort of boost. Like it might force you to drive the whole race in cockpit view, which is inside the car. You got the windshield in front of you and the rear view mirrors and the steering wheel in front of you. You can see all that, but it also obstructs your view of the road more and around to your sides and stuff. So it does make racing a little bit more challenging that way. And then also another one, it might take the HUD away, so you can't see, you know, what place you're in, what place people in front of you are in, behind you, that type of stuff. How fast you're going, you just don't know. So you just got to race and try and pass as many people as possible and hope for the best. But if you do race with that challenge mod and you complete the race with it and do pass any challenges that it has on the card, then you'll get a ton of extra credits. So it is worth doing if you're trying to earn some extra credits. There are different tiers of mods. You've got common, uncommon, rare, and super rare. So which ones you get will depends on which pack you buy. There are like 5 different tiers of packs you can buy, which start down at like 12,000 credits all the way up to $300,000 credit packs. If you buy the $300,000 credit pack, you're going to get at least 2 or 3 super rares in there and a couple uncommons or whatever. Whereas if you buy the cheapest one, you'll get a bunch of commons and maybe 1 uncommon. So, you know, each pack also offers different types. Some of them might be more around single-use mods, and some of them might be more around, you might be more likely to get unlimited use mods. So it all depends on what you're looking for and how much credits you had to spend. But yeah, so the mods add a whole new gameplay mechanic to the game, and equipping mods before races, before every race, became like a tradition for me, and I was, you know, always buying more and more packs. The thing is, though, you still have to buy the vehicles, the cars, new cars with credits. So you got to balance it out to, you know, not buy so many mod packs to when it comes time to buy a new car that you don't have any credits left. And then you've got to go do a bunch of races that isn't furthering your career just to get enough credits to go finally buy that car to further your career. So it's definitely a balancing act, purchasing the right amount of mods and the right amount of new cars to make sure that you don't get too much or too little of either one. But yeah, so after those first 3 qualifying races, that's when it more opens up. There are 15 Challenger Series, and they unlock one at a time. So the first Challenger Series unlocks, you go there, and there's like 6 different options. One of them is Japanese street cars, one of them's hot hatchbacks, and then there's 4 more. And you pick one of those, and then you race that first Challenger Series. And then after you beat that, then the second Challenger Series will unlock, and you can pick one in there and do it, and so forth, all the way down until you have all 15 unlocked. But then, even once you have all 15 unlocked, you can go back to the first one and do the other 5 little subdivisions that you didn't do the first time that you went through, and then with the second. And so career is going to take people a while to get through. There is a ton of content there in career mode and a ton of different cars to race through career mode in. So I believe Forza fans are going to be very satisfied with Forza 6's career mode. Of course, the Drivatars from Forza 5 and Forza Horizon 2 are back, so even if your friends are offline, their Drivatars will be on the road racing against you, and you can increase or decrease the difficulty of Drivatars at any time to make them more realistic in how they race. And then on top of the realisticness based on their difficulty, how they drive will also be based on how your friends drive. So if you've got a friend that cuts corners all the time, that their Drivatar is going to be cutting corners all the time. If you've got a friend who's very aggressive, slams into other cars to get past them, Drivatar is going to do that. Although there is an option in settings to turn aggressive Drivatars off. Now, I think doing that will decrease the amount of credits that you earn, but it is there if you are the type of person that gets annoyed by getting crashed into a lot. That is in there, and you can turn that off. But yeah, also Rivals returns, which Rivals, you go there to Rivals and you will play against either a ghost rival or a real rival, trying to see who can drift the farthest, who can make the best time around this track, who can weave around the cones and do this, that, and the third, who can draft. There's a ton of different challenges that you can do up against your rivals. It's not just standard racing. So you can earn a ton of credits through that, unlock new cars. It's a great way to do. And then leagues, which leagues are kind of new to Forza, especially the way they're doing them this time, where first it'll have like an introductory league, and then that's pretty much just a standard race, you racing against other people who have raced in league, or Drivatars of other people who are in leagues. Once you complete that, it moves on and unlocks more of the rest of the leagues, and then as you race through leagues, you will earn points, and then your skill level moves up, and then you move up in the leaderboards, and it will match you up against other people racing in leagues who are of the same skill level, which pretty much falls back on the true skill ranking system of Xbox Live, to where if you're the type of guy who wins every race that you race, it's going to put you up against other guys who win pretty much every race that they race. If you're the type of guy who comes in 14th every race, it's going to put you up against people like that. So it's really nice at keeping the things balanced. Although I will say the multiplayer that I've played was more controlled. It was with a couple of the Turn 10 developers and some other journalists as a play session to kind of walk us through the multiplayer before Forza 6 came out. So I will reserve judgment until after the game's been out in the wild and tons of people are out there playing it. My feelings on that could change, and if they do, I will definitely come back and update and let y'all know. Other than that, with the leagues, you've also got free play where you can just jump in, pick a track, pick a car, and go to race against a bunch of Drivatars. Or you can go in multiplayer and race against just players on tracks. Vote on which track you want to play, that type of stuff. Pretty much everything you've come to expect from Forza, and a crap ton more is in there. I think they've done a really, really great job with this Forza. You could tell that a lot of time was put into it. Every car has the most intricate details. The painting system with the decals and the designs are just as amazing as ever. I actually went in and did a bunch of paint jobs. I made a couple tribal designs of my own just to mess around with the whole decal system. I will say that it's very in-depth, and unless you're the type of person who have done that in past Forzas, you might not be getting into that. If you are the creative type who it's sort of similar to how you can make your own emblem in the Call of Duty. Like I made a Ninja Turtle one, and I've seen people make Dragon Ball Z ones on the Call of Duty emblem editor. It's pretty much like that, except for the cars in Forza, and you can spend hours working on a single decal, and if you do, you put the time in, you can make some pretty amazing looking decals. I saw one car in there, somebody had made a Game of Thrones car which had the Khaleesi on the side with the Game of Thrones logo. It looked absolutely realistic. Whoever did that did a terrific job, and I can only imagine how much time they put into that. It was amazing. Yeah, so other than that, I think that pretty much covers, just about everything. Let's see, we went through the career, leagues, rivals, free play. Of course, the daily rewards when you log in, any designs you've made that have been downloaded or liked, you'll get credits based on that. You'll get credits based on what races your Drivatar has been in while you were offline. There's also loyalty rewards for people who have played past Forzas. When you log into Forza 6 for the first time, you'll get a free car for playing. If you played Forza 5 before, you'll get a free car if you played Forza Horizon 2 before. You'll get a free car if you played the Forza 6 demo before Forza 6 came out. And then your tier on the Forza Hub. If you're a Tier 5, then you'll get like 4 or 5 cars for free straight off the bat. If you're a Tier 6, you'll get 5 or 6 cars for free straight off the bat. And that's on top of the other loyalty rewards, the other 3 cars or so that I mentioned. And I believe the Tier 6 is like a Lamborghini. Can't remember what kind of Lamborghini it was, but it's a pretty dope car. So you definitely want to be working your way up in the tiers in Forza Hub to get more free cars. And even if you aren't Tier 6 when you first start playing Forza 6, you can keep playing and work your way up to Tier 6. And once you do reach Tier 6, then you'll get that car. It's not only when you first boot up the game. But yeah, so overall, I really, really enjoyed it. The multiplayer was really great. We played a little bit of leagues. We played some regular online races. I believe I came in first 1 race. I came in 3rd or 4th 2 or 3 races, and I did really bad on a couple races as well. So it was all over the place, but we were having a little bit of trouble connecting because I believe Xbox Live was having issues that day, as in all games, not just Forza. But everything pretty much went smoothly other than that little bit of hiccup, and I imagine it'll be the same way. As I was saying earlier with leagues, I will come back after launch day if the servers are messing up, if matchmaking isn't good, if it's like a Halo the Master Chief Collection scenario, I'll definitely come back and update. But it's absolutely great game. I would say 4.5 frags all day. The graphics are absolutely stunning. Full native 1080p, 60 frames per second, just like Forza 5 was. The difference this time is, I think Forza 5, the cars were really, really detailed, looked really great, but the backgrounds, you know, the stands, fans, tracks weren't quite as awesome looking as the cars. But with Forza 6, everything just looks amazing, intricately detailed. So yeah, it's just a great game. And then of course with Forza, the right thing about Forza is, even though it's mainly a simulation racer, you can play it like an arcade racer if you want to, if that's your thing. If you're more of a Need for Speed guy, you can go into the settings and set it up to play like an arcade racer. And even if you have a friend who likes to play like a simulation racer and you like to play like an arcade racer, the two of you can still play together and race each other in those aspects that you like. You can play simulation style, you can play arcade style. So it's all about you, what cars you like, how you like to race, where you like to race, who you like to race against, what difficulty you like to race at. Everything in Forza is all about you, and I think that's what I like most about Forza, and especially here with Forza Motorsport 6. So yeah, 4.5 frags, absolutely terrific game. I also have a written review on Forza Motorsport 6 up on our website, fragtagradio.com. So please feel free to check that out as well if you want some more in-depth coverage, as I'll be talking definitely a lot more in-depth in my written review than I am here, you know, in the flesh through voice on the show. Next up, Warframe. Update 17 is now on consoles. It's been on PC for some weeks now, but us console players, we just got it. And I got to tell you, it's nothing short of amazing. The biggest update I have seen to Warframe since I started playing. And I started playing earlier this year, around late January, early February, and the year's getting close to being over, so I've been playing almost a year now. And wow, just looking at it here in my notes, there's just a ton of content, and I tried to play through as much of it as possible before the show today. So let me just go through and just touch on, you know, what I know and what I've played. First of all, the new quest is the Nata quest, or the Nata quest. I don't know if it's Nata or Nata, but that is the new quest line where the Lotus tells you that she needs you to go do a mission on Earth and scan these drones. And there's these 2 drones. You go scan them, and then after you scan them, the Lotus is like, "Oh shit, something about the sentience. Sorry, Tenno, stay safe." And then she bounces, and then the dude on your ship, Ordis, is like, "Oh crap, did the Lotus just abandon you, Tenno? Don't worry, Ordis is here for you." And then he helps you finish out the mission, get you to extraction, and then Tension, which is the Conclave guy, he steps in to help you out, and pretty much is saying that the Lotus isn't who she says she is, or has been saying she is, and there's a lot of actual mystery surrounding the Lotus, more so than we originally even thought. And you pretty much embark on a quest to find out what the hell, is going on. And as you play through, you pretty much learn that the Lotus's name isn't even Lotus, and the dude Tile Rhaegor, who is the new boss fight, and here, of course, you were able to fight Tile Rhaegor before, but they re-engineered his whole boss battle. It's brand new for Update 17, and it's great. Absolutely, probably my favorite boss battle in the game right now. And so the whole thing is you're trying to stop Tile Rhaegor from opening the Tomb of the Sentients, which is this past race that has been thought to have been extinct or whatever. And if he opens the tomb, then boom, it's going to be the rise of the Sentients, as people have been saying. So pretty much he does, and at least one of the Sentients gets out. And then it's like, oh shit, and then the Lotus isn't the Lotus, and it was crazy. Crazy quest line. I really loved the quest. It added a lot to the story. I can't wait to see what happens next. I imagine the next quest is going to tell us a lot more about it and answer a lot of questions that this quest line brings up. I will say this quest line brings up more questions than it does answers, which really leaves you hanging, wanting to know what the hell is going on. And I really kind of like that about this quest line. It was really cool. Also, almost all the missions on Uranus have been changed up. There are now Sharkwing missions, which is when you can go underwater with your Arcwing, which those who play Warframe know. Arcwing is when you can, instead of doing a mission where you're walking on the ground shooting people, doing ninja stuff, you're up in space with like these weird wings that like you can do like, fly around and do like space battle stuff. So now you can do this stuff underwater with your Arcwing. And some missions you'll be playing through like normal, on foot, shooting the bad guys, slicing people in half, and then you jump in the water and your Arcwing deploys and you're underwater doing Arcwing battles underwater, and then you go back up onto the surface and continue on. It's absolutely crazy. I love it, love it, love it. And I really love how it brings more attention to the Arcwings, because I feel like up till now, Arcwings have kind of felt like an afterthought, and now that they've got the submersible and a lot more Arcwing missions, Arcwings feel more like a necessity and more a part of the game than an afterthought or just a small addition. So really good to see that happen. I really loved the whole underwater segments with the Sharkwing. I've tried to play through most of the missions on Uranus. Haven't played all of them, but it's great. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely worth going to Uranus, checking out the new boss fight. And then, speaking of the new boss fight with Tile Rhaegor, fighting Tile Rhaegor is the only way to get pieces for the new Equinox Warframe, which is like the yin-yang themed Warframe with night and day. Every time you beat Tile Rhaegor, you'll get one piece that you need to construct the Equinox frame. You will need to do multiple runs, because since this is essentially 2 Warframes in one, you need to get 2 helmets, 2 chassis, 2 systems, and plus the blueprints. So it's going to take a while. And it seems like, some people say that, oh man, I'm getting all the parts for the day part of the frame, but I'm not getting all the none of the parts for the night part of the frame. And then other people are saying, oh, I'm getting all the parts for the night part of the frame, but I'm not getting the day. So I guess it just depends, on luck and who you are, and keep playing and you will get all the parts. But yeah, so the new Warframe itself, Equinox, is a really cool frame. I love the way he/she looks, because this Warframe is a he and a she mixed together. When the frame is one, it's pretty much a transsexual Warframe, and then when you split it into the day version, that is the male version of the frame, and the night version, I believe the night version is the female version of the frame. So there's that. but the powers. So as you know, every Warframe has 4 powers, their 4th power being their ultimate. Power 1 for Equinox is just pretty much that lets you switch between the night and day version of the frame. So it doesn't really do damage or anything, but that's cool because night version has different powers than the day version. So the day version of the frame has 3 powers and the night version of the frame has 3 powers. So Equinox is the first frame to essentially have 6 powers rather than just 4. But yeah, so power 2 for Equinox is the Rage, which makes enemies in the area vulnerable to more damage if you're in the day version, and then if you're in the night version, it puts enemies in the area to sleep, so that you can, you know, rush them, slice them in half, whatever. Power 3 for day increases strength to any nearby allies, and for the nighttime version of Power 3, it reduces damage to your allies, so any allies around you will take less damage from enemies. And then Power 4, the ultimate for the day version of the frame, is Maim, which pretty much makes enemies that are near you bleed, and then a wave of slashing force comes and deals them damage. And then the night version of the frame, anytime an enemy near you is killed, it heals your allies and gives them health. So if there's tons of enemies around you and you're just dropping enemies left and right, then your allies are constantly getting health as long as that's happening. So that's a really cool and very useful ability. So Parkour 2.0, they completely redid the movement in Warframe. It absolutely feels completely different, almost feels like a brand new game in a lot of aspects. The way you move, of course, you still run the same, but now there's no stamina, so you don't run out of breath. You can just keep running forever. And then before, you would you can still do the slide, and if you jump after the slide like before, instead of the little copter thing, it sends you into like this twirling like I don't know, ninja jump twirl thing. It's hard to explain. But if you hit the left trigger and aim while you're in jump, it slows down, almost feels like it's slowing down time, like on some Max Payne bullet time type of ish. And you're able to just go straight up John Woo style, slow motion in the air, you know, double pistols, blazing people down. And wow, I love it, love it, love it. There's also wall latching now. You can latch onto walls and hold onto walls and shoot enemies down below while you're holding onto the wall. Wall latching does not last forever. You will eventually slide down. Zip lines. Before, once you hit a zip line in the old version, you just pretty much had to stay on the zip line until you got to the end and jump off. Now, you can stop yourself mid-zip line, jump on the top, run along the zip line, jump over to another zip line. It's great. And then also the movement, you can run along walls and you can stop and then start running the other direction on walls. There is a double jump now, so if you jump while you're in air, you can hit jump and then jump again to get to reach higher levels. If you're trying to make your way up a wall before, you could, you know, try and run up a wall, but if it was too high, there was no way you were getting up there. But now you can just keep jumping up a wall as high as you want, so you can pretty much reach anywhere in Warframe now, and I think that's just great. Utility slots, that is another huge addition. So now every Warframe has an extra slot right up top next to the aura slot, and this is the utility slot where you'll equip stuff like Rush, which makes your Warframe move faster, or the Maglev, I think is one, which lets your Warframe slide farther, or they've got a bunch of new ones that will let your bullet jump last longer, or let you hang onto the wall longer, or add toxic damage to your bullet jump so that you're dealing more damage if you're killing enemies while in midair. Ton of awesome utility mods. There is an item needed to unlock the utility slot on each frame, so you will need to acquire that. Or you can pay 20 platinum and just buy it and unlock it that way. So if you're the type of person that does a lot of trading in Warframe and you have platinum to spare, you don't feel like doing all the work to get the thing to unlock the utility slot, you can just spend that little 20 platinum and unlock it that way. And then boom, you're good to go. And once that happens, you can start installing the utility mods on your frames. I will say that the utility slot, and then you put a mod in there, and then suddenly you're over encumbered, you're above capacity, you're probably going to need to forma every single one of your Warframes at least one extra time. I know a lot of people thought they were done. They'd never have to forma another Warframe ever again, well, unless it was a new one like Equinox. But yeah, you're gonna need to go back, and it's at least your favorite frames. You know, go back and forma those another time or two to make sure that you've got enough capacity to have the most powerful mods possible equipped, plus the best utility mod you have equipped, plus the best aura equipped, and then you can just continue being a badass. Also, capes, which are known as Cyandanas, but now there are actual cloth capes in the game, and the cloths like Superman style capes that you can put on your Warframes. I believe there are 3 or 4 of them that can be equipped. Those are very awesome. Let's see, and then also new weapons in the game. There is a Colstar, Harpack, Grattler, Akenbrunt, Twin Grakatas, and I believe that covers most of them. So the Colstar, first of all, is a handheld cluster rocket launcher. I believe that is a secondary weapon that you can use. Then there is the Harpack, which spikes enemies, and then you can reel them in with a auto harpoon style gun. Then there is the Grattler, which is a new Arcwing cannon weapon, which fires explosive shells. Awesome weapon. Akenbrunt is Tile Rhaegor's shield and sword, which you can actually get, craft, and take control of. Sort of like Silva and Aegis with the sword and shield combo. Same thing here. They actually have a new stance mod called Final Harbinger, which is especially for sword and shield combos that you can use along with it. And then the twin Grakatas, which everybody knows the Grakata through the Grakata itself, or if you have the Prisma Grakata from Katir, then you're familiar with that weapon. Now you can hold 2 of them at once and go akimbo style with the Grakatas, which is pretty great. Next up, the Frost rework. Frost's bubble no longer has a duration. It has health. So when you cast a Frost bubble, it has 100 health, and if the bubble stays at 100 health, the bubble will stay there forever. If the bubble takes too much damage, then it'll start losing health and going down. And then, but the cool thing is you can keep track of the health by looking in that lower hand corner and know when the bubble's about to go down and cast another one to make sure that everything's, you know, especially if you're playing like a defense on T4 or whatever, you can stay on top of it still. Let's see. And then after that was, okay, the Arcane Distiller. A lot of people have done the raid or the trial of Retribution where you get arcane enchantments to install on your helmets and Cyandanas. A lot of people were holding off because they knew if they installed them that they couldn't be removed. So pretty much it was a permanent thing before. If you installed an arcane enchantment, it was there in that helmet forever. I know me personally, I was like, well, what if I change my mind later? I don't want to, so I just never installed any arcane mods. But now they have Arcane Distillers, which you can acquire from any syndicate for 100,000 standing, and use that to remove arcane enchantments from your helmets and Cyandanas. So now I can actually start installing, you know, my arcane enchantments, and I have a ton of them. So looking forward to using those to hopefully make my Warframes more powerful that way. And then lastly is the Kubro stuff. There is a new Chesa-Kubro or Chesa-Kubro, I'm not sure you pronounce that, but this is a retriever style Kubro. It will run out and grab mods or resources or ammo on the ground and bring it back to you, so you don't got to be running around the map to pick it up, which is nice. There are also Kubro armor now. For the start, there's just 2 different armors. I picked up one of them and I have it equipped on my Kubro. But I believe they're going to be adding more Kubro armors over time, so look forward to that. And then the new incubator upgrade. For your Kubro incubator and then your Lisette, there's an incubator upgrade you can get. And once you put that in there, that lowers the recovery time of your Kubros. You can now rush stuff with credits in your Kubro chamber, if your Kubro, if you've been offline for many days before, if you stayed offline too long, your Kubro would die, and that would be the end of it. Well, now, if your Kubro gets to critical health, they will automatically go into stasis, so you don't got to worry about being offline too long and Kubros dying anymore. Egg incubation, when you're growing on a new Kubro, has been reduced to 1 day, so you only have to wait a day for that to go now. And then stabilizers last double as long now, so when you inject your Kubro with a stabilizer, it will last double the length that it would before. And I mean, yeah, it's just a great update. There is so much content in it. There's a ton of new Conclave stuff as well, which is the PvP aspect of Warframe. I'm going to save that for next episode. Hopefully touch on more of the Conclave stuff when I come back next time. But other than Conclave, that pretty much covers everything. So, new quest, Child Rhaegar boss battle, Parkour 2.0, Kubro stuff, new Equinox Warframe, utility slots, utility mods, new caves, new weapons, arcane distillers to remove enchantments, frost rework, bunch of Conclave stuff. You can't go wrong. If you haven't played Warframe before, now is a great time to get started. If you played Warframe before and stopped for whatever reason, haven't played in a while, now is a great time to get back into it and get back on it. Check it out. And then next up is Smite. So I had the beta for Smite when it was in beta, and I've had Smite on my console for, it feels like, over a year now. And I played it a little bit when it was in beta, but not a ton. Can't remember why. I probably was busy playing Destiny and other crap at that time. But so more recently, I started playing it a lot more, and I've actually been playing that almost as much as I've been playing Warframe, and I'm really enjoying it. And to be honest with you, I've never been a huge MOBA guy. I've never been big on MOBAs like League of Legends and Dota 2 and stuff like that, but I found myself really enjoying Smite, and I like the theme of the game, how it's how all the characters are themed after actual gods, you know, from mythology, reality, whatever you want to call it. And there is a ton of different modes. You've got the 3v3 Joust, 5v5, Conquest, and then there is a mode called Lost at Sea, which I played actually earlier today, where you can choose either Cupid or Geb, which Cupid, everyone knows who Cupid is, and you can dress him up in the Bumblebee costume, and then Geb is this giant rock-looking dude who, if you have the Life's a Beach skin for him, makes him look like a giant sandcastle. So you've got a bunch of Cupids that that are dressed up in Bumblebee Halloween costumes and giant sandcastles walking around the map fighting each other. It's absolutely crazy, and it's an interesting mode. I don't know if it's permanent or if this is just a timed thing, but if you have Smite, check out that Lost at Sea. It's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun with that. The map that you play on in Lost at Sea feels like one big jungle. Most Smite maps, there are like lanes, whereas this one, like, no lane feels like it's going exactly straight. Like everything's everywhere, and there's, you know, upgrade places. It feels like one giant jungle, and then people are just running through the jungle, battling each other, and there's a ton of different towers. Like, each team has at least 3 towers, maybe more. It's not like 3v3 Joust, where, like, your team has 1 tower, their team has 1 tower, and then there's the Phoenix and then the boss. It's pretty straightforward, simple. This one is way more complex. So make sure you go in there with a team of people that you know, or hopefully it gives you some randoms that are good, because if one person drops out of your team, it's pretty much game over. And sometimes that happens when you're playing. You'll join in, and the other team gets an early advantage, and someone on your team gets frustrated, and they just leave. And then that totally ruins the game for everybody on your team. So got to watch out for players like that. Then there is a new god that was just added in the recent update called Kepri, which looks like a giant scarab. I'm not sure what's going on with that god. I played around with him a little bit. He's definitely got some crazy powers, fun to use, but I still prefer Bologna and Neith are my 2 favorite gods. And that's who I play with the most, and I like using either the Torment skin for Bellona, which makes her look like a female demon, and it changes the look of her sword to be like a giant crystallized underworld sword, which is really awesome. I love her moves, how she like swings the sword in like a circle, or you can jump into the. She's awesome. Neith is more of a long range, stay back and shoot the arrows type of character, but she's very sarcastic and very funny. And depending on which one of her costumes you're wearing, the stuff she says changes. Like if you're wearing the Buccaneer costume, tries to talk like a pirate, and if you're wearing the she's got a nurse costume. I forget what it's called. Misdiagnosis. If you're wearing that, she talks about like medical related stuff, or tries to anyway. And I love both of those costumes. I usually either roll with the Misdiagnosis or the Buccaneer costumes when I use her. I've been playing. I play mostly 3v3 jousts, occasionally some 5v5, and then just recently today I started messing around. With that Lost at Sea mode, which is pretty cool. I definitely plan on getting more in depth with it as time goes on, so you can expect more Smite coverage on future episodes. Most definitely, I'll be playing. They're going to be adding more gods to the game over time. I assume more maps, more stages to play on, as well as different skins for the existing gods to make them look different. That's another thing about Smite. Like, every god has multiple skins, and it's not just a skin that changes the color of their clothes, although some of them are. But, I mean, these are actually transform whatever gods you're using to look completely different. I mean, new hair, sometimes a brand new face. Sometimes their face is completely different. And they're themed after, like, stuff that you would know. Like, Apollo is themed after, like, a space dude on, like, a hover bike. And then you've got... is it Ares? Or Ares? I don't know. But she has the beach costume and a bikini, like she's been hanging on the beach. And then there's one where there's this like a giant tiger-looking god, but he's got this costume that when he puts it on, it makes him look like he's straight out of the game StarCraft, which is crazy. And then there's one that makes one of the characters look like Predator. One that makes her look like a giant robot. I don't know, there's just tons of different themes. One that Hercules, there's a costume for Hercules that makes him look like Hulk Hogan, and he even does the Hulk Hogan poses and stuff. Absolutely crazy. And Smite, like Warframe, is free to play, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely worth checking out. You can't beat free. And with that, last, I want to touch a little bit of Gears, and then that will be it. So I've been playing a ton of Gears night and day. Actually, this weekend is a double XP weekend. I've been playing a lot of Gears this weekend. I mostly stick to ranked competitive team deathmatch because that seems to award the most XP. So if you play Gears and you're looking to get the most XP, go to team deathmatch and ranked. First of all, if you're in social, you're getting half the XP that you would in competitive. And it seems like King of the Hill only rewards a little bit of XP. Like, it'll say that you have like 5,000 points and the match will be over and you'll actually get 1,000 in XP. Whereas in Team Deathmatch, if you get 1,000 points, you'll actually get 2,000 to 3,000 in XP. So I feel like they need to balance the XP there, because I'm never going to play King of the Hill as long as the XP is like it is in that. They need to fix that. They need to raise the XP in King of the Hill, or I'm just going to be playing Team Deathmatch forever. And the game, I believe, should kind of encourage you to play all the modes, and they just need to fix that XP. But I mean, King of the Hill is a ton of fun to play, so if you're only playing for fun, then boom, King of the Hill, go for it. But me, I'm trying to level up fast as possible, because when you're leveling up unlocks new multiplayer characters to play with. And right now I'm trying to get to level 50 so I can unlock Mechanic Baird. And then at level 60, I think it's Farmer Dizzy. So yeah, I'm level 40 something, 43, 44, working my way up to 50 so I can get Mechanic Baird. And I'm trying to get there as quick as possible so I can do my re-up and get that achievement. So that's why I've been sticking with Team Deathmatch. After I've unlocked all the characters, done my re-up, got the achievement, and I'm not really caring about XP anymore, then I'll probably jump into more of the other modes. But yeah, so I mentioned the contest. As you know, we just had the one on Twitter to give away the exclusive community bodied skin. Now we're going to be giving away a physical retail copy of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Comes with the codes for Civilian Anya, the code for the animated emulsion weapon skin, as well as access to the Gears of War 4 beta, and we will ship it to you. We guarantee the contest will be over, and whoever wins, you will get the game before the end of well, you have until the end of this year, so you'll get it way before the end of this year. Whoever plays it before the end of this year gets free digital copies of Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and Gears of War Judgment for through backwards compatibility, playable on Xbox One. So whoever wins this retail copy of Gears of War Ultimate Edition will get Gears of War Ultimate, Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War Judgment, beta access to Gears of War 4, plus the Civilian Anya and animated emulsion weapon skins. You can't beat that, and it's going to be absolutely free. All you have to do is go on fragtagradio.com, and I'm going to have a page on there. All you got to do is comment on the page and say why you want Gears of War Ultimate Edition, or you could say one of your fondest memories of playing one of the past Gears, whether it was Gears 2, Gears 3, or the original Gears, or even Gears Judgment. And then, you know, I'm pretty much going to put everybody's name in a hat who sounds legit, and draw out a random winner, and then we will ship that out to whoever wins. So feel free to go on fragtagradio.com, enter the contest. We're looking to do more giveaways in the future. I'm also hoping we can partner up with the Coalition again to give away another weapon skin here before too long. So keep an eye out for possibly that. And it's been a great episode. I appreciate you guys taking the time to sit and listen to me ramble on about games, and I'll catch y'all next time.
Frag Radio.